Okay, hello everybody. Hello, welcome to Lewis Schaffer's kitchen. I mean Studio One, the main studio. This is where we did all the non-hit American radio shows. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even look at me. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming in. We can you can see me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Hello, Joodles. Can she see me? Can she hear me? I'm having a cup of tea, so I've had 2 cups of tea and 2 cups of coffee today. That's like too much. That's like it could be too much. Anyway, hold on. Let me turn this off. Let me turn this off. Can I just let me give me a second to check to make sure that this is on Twitter that that I have promoted this. I mean, you could promote it too if you feel up to promoting it. Um, yes, yes, yes. Yes. When is this? Yes. Let me just I'll just do this. How are you? Okay. Hold on 1 second. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm just gonna put this on Twitter and say we're live now. We're live now on at YouTube. Click below. Nope, that's not right. Hold on, that's not right. That's right. That's a bit better. Bit better. Almost there. Almost there. Click below. Okay. Anyway, hello Joodles. Hello Mark Therosian. Hello Darklands. Hello Darklands. Hello Gnome Hunter. Hello MC Scott. Um, it is good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. It's 11 o'clock. I'm not as tired as I was before, and I've had half a cup of tea. I'm gonna have another cup of tea, and we're gonna be totally alive. I wanted to discuss Mike Graham. What Mike Graham said. They fired him. They fired him. Um, they fired him. Maybe he was drunk when he said this thing. I don't even know who the guy is. Really, I know who the guy is. He's like one of these. Let's put this over here like that. Let's put this over here like that. Graham. Mike Graham. Mike. I'm writing this down and I'll never look at this again. Mike Graham. It's very interesting, really. What has he been fired? He was fired from Talk TV. He was fired from Talk TV. I don't even want to say why he was fired. But you can say why he was fired from Talk TV. You know, you can't say Andrew Rubin is here. Let's see who's coming in. Hold on 1 second. I've got to open the door. Don't go anywhere. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I both two children at the same time. How are you? Thank you very much for coming. Is it a coincidence? Coincidence. It's a coincidence. My 2 beautiful boys. I came into the exact. My 2 sons came at the exact same time. 2 beautiful sons. 2 beautiful sons. I'm broadcasting if that means anything to you. I am live streaming if that means anything. Can we don't have? I mean, if you're gonna talk, Carnegie, I'm asking a personal favor. I mean, I should be asking a personal favor. He's my own kid. He's my own kid. Anyway, so what were we talking about? Did you? I mean, I read what he said. I don't even know what he said. He denied it. He said that it was his account was whatchamacallit, was blocked, was not was taken over. Basically, this is going to drive me insane. I can't operate when they're sitting there talking in the background. Can we? Anyway, thank you very much for coming, everybody. For coming. Thank you for coming. I mean, I had a little bit of. I mean, uh, got my kids here. I don't know how I can operate out of the kitchen. I'm gonna kick my son out of my out of the lounge where my office is. At, at least this is natural. I've been watching a lot of the YouTube videos, and they're just so fake, really. Let me just. I'm gonna lower the light here. How about that? How about that? We got. I think that's a bit better looking. Come on, Lewis. Don't make me look on Google. What he said was what he said. He mentioned the actual color of the skin of people in this country, and you can't do that. That's not whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing. It's you just can't do that in this country. And I mean, it is indicative. I mean, once upon a time, the country was 100% whatever it was. Now it's not 100% whatever it was. And it does mean something to people. It's indicative of something. Was he right for saying that? I mean, it's indicative. I'm going to use that word, indicative. I don't even know what that word means. Mike Graham was on Talk TV, and he said, you can't hear them. Okay, you can't hear them. Well, okay. Well, they're in my brain. They're in their own little private little spaces. They're in their private little spaces. No, what it is that we have to live in a homogenized world, and they have decided to replace the people that are living here with other people who are living here, whatever color they are, whether they come from Romania or they come from Rwanda, whether they come from Nigeria or Nagasaki. People are being replaced, and I don't know whether even I'm allowed to say that. I don't want England to be 100%. I want England to be 100. You know what? I don't know if I want that to happen. I mean, I live here too. I could understand if I'm here and I'm making it. I'm taking away a job from someone who's living here. That's what it is. I don't believe in racism. Anyway, I don't believe people don't hate people because of the color of the skin. They hate them because they're not their people. This is where we can get into trouble, and I want to make sure that I say this very, very clearly. Okay, we have to be nice to everybody. At the same time, I can understand why people do not want their homes taken over, not even taken over, where there are people coming in who are posing a possible threat to their livelihoods or their children's livelihoods or even their parents' livelihood. That's what I'm saying. Okay? I mean, you don't want this country to be 100% anything, because in order for a country to be good, you've got to have people coming into a few people coming into the country who are going to, maybe bring something amazing to the place. Do you agree with me on that? I don't care that much to it, but I very much like whoever is here to not to take over and force me into a hijab. Yes, that's also part of it. And at some point, there's too many, and then people lose what they had. And especially, you got to feel for the poorer people. The richer people don't care because they don't care. They have their houses in Surrey and they're living down there, and no one's going to come and take their house away from them or their job away from them. But if you're like working in London and you got a job making whatever, the minimum wage, which I'm against the minimum wage. And then people should be allowed to say something like you want to be amongst your own people too. But because we've taken over this whole globalism thing, we have to believe that everybody is the same and that everybody is good. That's what Stewart is saying. Okay? I mean, that people are good. And you know, it's like what the left is all about, which is social cohesion. Is like, but how can you have social cohesion when suddenly you've increased the population by 10 or 20 or 30%? Is whole entire cities are no longer cohesive. And I've lived through that myself in New York. I lived through New York City suddenly becoming, I mean, New York City has always kind of been that way, and that's what America is. It's the idea. America is the first almost communistic country. I can't believe I'm even saying that. I don't even know if this is true. So, Lewis, on numerous occasions you have mentioned Kermit looks like a 1970s porn film director. Can you describe that look? No, he'll send you a picture. We'll all look at him, and you'll say he does look like that. He's got the beard. He's got the anyway. So that's what I am saying is that people should be allowed to say things like that, but they're not allowed to say things like that. They're allowed to think things like that. But there's the thought police now, and that's been going on for years and years. So, and he said what cannot be said, which is he doesn't like it. And we see the videos that are happening all across Europe, in France, just the you think Paris, beautiful Paris, and it's not. I don't. This is what Noam Hunter says. I don't think they could be British or English even, but honorarily they can and should be considered part of the nation. I feel like I have an obligation to this place, even though I'm not a native. Yeah, you're from Greece. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I feel too. You like a place for the way it is, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, they're letting in 10 or however many millions of people they've let into the country, and the country changes. And he said something that you cannot say. You cannot say that he's not happy that way with people of a different color coming to this country. Okay? A frog with a beard. I'd call David Attenborough immediately. Every non-English person living here is taking away a home, a job, a profession away from a native. It's a total remigration or extinct. It's total remigration or extinction. That's exactly right, and that's why people are upset. I can see why it's upset, because it's like there was a point in time about 20 years ago when somebody who was a painter could make a decent living, and then they let in a million Polish people who were white people, and they let a million Poles in, and those Poles brought down the wages, a million of them. Maybe they moved out, but then there's another group. The Poles weren't bad, but it's not the right thing. Forced immigration does not produce a cohesive and integrated country. It just causes division. Yes, it just causes division, and they're trying and they're trying to lie about it. They're trying to keep things cool. I blame the Americans for this, because this is an American ideology. It's like, let's let people into the country, millions and millions of people into America, who aren't, who are, they first they let in Germans, then they let in Irish, then the Welsh, then they let in people who were at war. I mean, eventually they became Americans. Let's hope. Well, maybe these people will become British. I don't think that they will, because that a lot of them say their religion is the most important thing, and their religion is not our religion. How many? Yeah, I mean, and then eventually there are people who come from those countries, and they believe in the English ideology. But you can't let 10 or 20 million people in a country that has 60 million people or 50 million people into the country. You can't do it. Can you stop calling him Blackie Joodles? I mean, really, let's be a bit more formal with people. I mean, I don't know. It's something really. It really bothers me. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why they fired him. And then they said to him, they said, "Do you have to participate in the in an investigation run by Sky, whatever it is? You have to participate in it." Okay. I mean, the point is this country could survive with less people. It's like saying we have a zoo and one animal. I don't want to say which animal because you'll say, well, I'm being preferential. But let's just say one animal is dying out. So in order to make we'll bring another animal and put it in the cage. No, you can't do that. That's not what you should do. Especially when it's imposed on as an agenda, because then this is what Gnome Hunter says, Blackadder says, because then that exposes the whole thing as a ploy to have bodies to toss at your enemies instead of caring for the ones that vote you in. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, and it just becomes too much that people are unhappy with this situation. Like I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and Brooklyn just became completely overwhelmed after the Second World War with immigrants from the American South. And it became unlivable, basically. At least to my parents, it became unlivable. Talk is owned by News UK, a Murdoch company, same stable as The Sun. So I don't know what that means, Vattenhai, but that's an important consideration. Do you have any issue with me calling you Blackie? Well, I think you should ask before you call somebody that way. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's offensive to call someone Blackie who's not black or whatever it is, but you just shouldn't call somebody by a nickname that you kind of make up just to do that. Okay. Well, I've been digging around the BBC vaults, and it turns out that Kermit was an actor also before he went on to direct porn in the 1970s. Do you want to see this exclusive, Andrew? Okay. So I can see why what this country is all about, which is about people like living together happily. But you can't force that to happen, or maybe you can force it to happen. You can force it to happen. I don't know what needs to be done. What have you heard about Mike Graham? Is he putting up a fight? He'll have an independent live stream probably, similar to what's the guy's name? Dan Wooten has, where he's got like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people watching him. Yeah. I mean, Lewis, maybe Talk TV will ask you to host the show. Possibly Mark DeRosian. They might ask me, should I accept it after they got rid of this guy? We all play by rules. So Kermit must look like Matthew Laza, since you said he looked like a 1970s porn director. I don't remember if he did. Did I say that he looked like... maybe I did say that. Thank you for watching that. I think I did say that. Anyway, Mike Graham is setting up his own show. Yeah, maybe this is his way of getting an audience. What do you think? I think it might be his way of getting an audience for tonight. I mean, yes, it would have to fit in around this. I mean, obviously, I would dump this stream in a second if they gave me paid work. I wouldn't dump it, but I would, it depends. Maybe they would say to me, Lewis, we're giving you so much money, you can't do this stream. And I would say, listen, guys, I love you, but I gotta make some money. I have to make some money. I mean, basically. The Anna Firth girlfriend days. Do you remember that? They were good days. Good days. I really liked her a lot. I liked her a lot. He's busy robbing a compound at the moment at Cayo Prico. Who is that? Who's robbing a thing? I mean, this is the thing. We all are well-educated people, but there are certain rules that every business has, and every country has, and this country has always said that. When they got rid of what's his name, what's the guy's name? The guy who Enoch Powell. He said what you couldn't say, or he said it in a way, and it was too early in the day for him to say it. Most people didn't feel it. And the people that did feel it were people on the lowest economic level who had very little control over their lives. And that's what's happening now. They have very little control over their lives. So maybe we should pray for Mike Graham. Maybe we should pray, for people in this country who do not feel like they're a part of this country. But, there's been times people have said horrible, horrible things to me. Enoch Powell saw what was coming. Yes, he did. He saw what was coming. And he was right. He was right. And to call someone an R-ist, not an R-A-ist, but an R-ist, is, it's really wrong to do that. Talk radio are very weedy. This is what Finen says about Team World stuff. They have often dismissed callers who want to raise the issue. Lewis would not last very long. Yeah, that's the impression that I get. I don't think they're not like GB News. They wanted us, and you have to remember that the Murdoch family are globalists. They operate in every single country. I'll be back in a second. Rupert Murdoch is willing to give up his citizenship so he could buy some extra TV stations in America. I think that's the case. Alex says, I'm surprised Talk TV haven't asked you on, Lewis. Well, they've asked me on a few times, and I thought I was quite good where I said that Donald Trump may be a moron, but he's my moron. And he's not a moron, obviously. But so I supported Donald Trump. I quite like Jeremy Kyle on Talk TV. He's funny and straight talking. Well, if you think that Jeremy Kyle, I don't know, I haven't watched him. I don't want to say anything bad about Jeremy Kyle. I don't know. I just remember him on that show, and he just used to really yell at people right in their faces. Do you remember that show? Everyone called him crazy. I only wish he has the power to try and stop it. Who are you talking about? Enoch Powell. What we are in the midst of a war. We're in the midst of a war. And he basically said, this is the team that I support. The thing is, when you see somebody who speaks a different language, right? Who's getting ahead because they speak a different Polish or Romanian or Nigerian or whatever language they speak in these places, you think, well, they're not supporting me. They're not supporting my family, my parents, my kids. And it's going to be harder for me. Who wants that? Especially this country, which the working class were fighting so hard to get ahead. So hard to get ahead. And then about 25 years ago, which just went all downhill. It went all downhill. Good evening, English Addict. Thank you very much. But he's right, So this is what the thing is. So, he might have been drunk when he said it. Maybe he didn't even mean it. Maybe he did mean it. Maybe it was all planned. What do we think? Do you think he was drunk? Do you think it was planned? You can't say something like that. You can say something like that. I don't think. You're checking out Discord. Everyone check out Discord. Make sure we're in Discord. Make sure you. I'm gonna make sure that the live that it's live chat is on. Yeah, it's on, and make sure nobody has pressed the like button. Can we do that? The very first thing we got 19 people watching according to this. Can we press the like thing? Everybody all at once, go press the like thing. English Addict, press the yeah. Enoch Powell was the youngest professor in the empire. He was only 25. An intelligent man, yeah. I mean, that's when politicians were like intelligent. They might have disagreed with you, but they weren't raving communists. I don't know what they are. Mike Collins, who does an afternoon show, made a big fuss saying he would not have a jab. Then he went very quiet about it. This is Mike Collins. And then he stated that he didn't believe people trying to run the. Okay, all right. Let me read this, coherently. Mike Collins, who does an afternoon show, made a big fuss saying he would not have a jab. Then went very quiet about it, and then stated he didn't believe people trying to run the world in secret. He didn't. What does that mean? Could we put a couple of punctuations? Who are the people trying to run the world in secret? Is that like, should there be a comma after that? Ian Collins, can you rewrite that thing? The last sentence. Then he went quiet about it. Period. Then stated he didn't believe people are trying to run the world. Period. Those people running it secret. This is why we need punctuation. This is why we need punctuation. I mean, I have not been vaccinated. And the problem with me is I do care. I want to get ahead. I want money. I'm supposed to want money. But I don't care that much. If people don't want me, okay, you don't want me. And let it be known you don't want me. I'm not on GB News. That maybe they'll hire me again. Maybe they're listening to this all the time to see how I'm doing. I got a call from Mick there, and he wanted to know whether I was doing okay. I guess he didn't want me to commit suicide or something. I don't even know what he was thinking, what they were thinking. He didn't want me to commit suicide. Typing on the live chat is not easy if you are using a phone. Yeah, so maybe we should just type small sentences and make sure they're correct. Where are you? Are you out and about? I know I've got a very hard time typing on my phone. I'm using, it's even hard on this computer. This doesn't look that great. Let me just see something. See something. How about that? Does that look better, do you think? Is that better? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's better. Anyway, so big shadow behind me. Maybe that's a mistake. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Which is, what am I saying? We have to be nice to people. I mean, you shouldn't hate someone for the color of their skin. And he said something about the color, and you can't point out the color of their skin because people with different skin color, like I'm dark, should I be, I'm not English. I'm not English. I remember growing up in New York. We were Jews. We were like black people. This is what I thought we were. I know you're not going to believe this, but we thought we were black people. The white people lived across the bay in Jamaica, and not in Jamaica, in Manhasset. You can go look at a map, Great Neck, and then across the bay is Manhasset. Because the town that I grew up in, Great Neck, Long Island, New York, had been basically taken over by Jews. It was like an old Jewish town. And the Christians that used to live there, I think they felt a bit out of it and out of place. But we didn't, it's like have any of you read Portnoy's Complaint, where he falls in love with the Shiksa girl? Like that's his dream, is to fall in love with a girl who's a Christian girl. Let me see if I can fix this. How is that? Let's see what that looks like. And so you could see yourself living in this country, So I grew up as as a black person in New York City. In New York City. And that's what the Jews were. And then suddenly the Jews become white. Now we're white. I mean, look at how dark. You can't tell how dark I am. I'm not even that hairy, I don't think. But maybe you think that I'm hairy. I don't know. Collins said he didn't want the jab. He then refused to discuss it after a while. I expect he got it. He was got at. Then he criticized the people who claimed people like Bill Gates were trying to influence things. Oh, I see. That's what you're saying. I mean, that's similar to who remembers Network, the movie Network, where Ned Beatty is the executive in charge of the whole company and saying, we're trying to sell the company and you're messing up our business deal, so you have to change. Does anybody remember that movie? Yeah. I mean, I can understand it too. I mean, I can't understand it. I can't understand it because I'd rather live in poverty than have to change what I believe. And that's why I'm a loser. I am actually a loser. Jews were always white, or at least whiter than the rest, says Noam Hunter. Yeah, tell Hitler that. Tell the Nazis that the Jews were white. They didn't think we're white. The issue was the religion, and that's why they weren't like Mediterranean Europeans were treated like that too, but they were still white. They treated, let's talk about the Germans. They treated the Jews like they were worse than they were BLACK people. Okay? That they were worse than that. So that's how we were treated. We weren't considered white. We didn't think of ourselves as white. We took the side of black people. When I was growing up, we took the side of black people in New York and in America. We went down to people were voted Democrat, and they still do. They vote Democrat because they care about black people because they're like black people. Skin tone or race are different things. If Jews are considered to be part of the white race, then the Japanese too, as they have light skin. Exactly. And it just shows that race is so fluid and flexible, and it's just a bunch of bull. They did think you were white, Lewis, but again, not white enough. Something akin to the Slavs, white, but stupid whites in their eyes. No. They thought we were like bad people, not like the Slavs. They didn't, not like the Slavs, the Germans. My ears were burning. I've been on stream in the chat room, but could have come and looked for yourself, Rubes. But he's gone. What is that all about, Kermit? I'm not white. I'm ethnically English. Don't call me white. This is not America. Exactly right. Well, what's that song? Don't Call Me White. Do you remember that song by NoFX? What is the band called? The band's called NoFX. I think that's the band. Hold on a second. Don't Call Me White. And that was a song by a Jew. And he's saying what I'm saying right now. You have to believe me when I say this. No, you don't have to believe me. But it's called this NoFX band. Don't call. Okay, let's look up the song. Don't Call Me White, 1994, 30 years ago. Oh my God, that's so. Don't call me white. Don't call me white. Don't call me white. Don't call me. The connotations wearing my nerves thin. Could be, could it be semantics generating the mess we're in? This is what he's saying. I understand that language breeds stereotype, but what's the explanation for the malice, for the spite? Don't call me white. It's like telling people, don't call me white. I know you think that I'm white, but anyway, oh, please, Lewis, race is real. Just because people's perceptions of race change doesn't mean there isn't a biological genetic basis to it. There is, but there isn't as much as you think there is, Lucy. There isn't much of a difference between black people and white people. You know what I mean? They can still mate and they can still have jobs and they still think, basically, you know? Race and ethnicity consisted of what you look like. Nation, it also blends in where and from whom you live. Vatanai says, I watched a video earlier today about the makings of Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks was very funny. We were a bunch of New York Jews making a mad film, making fun of stereotypes. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Well, that's what comedy is. It was a great, Blazing Saddles was a great, the guy's still alive. It was a great film. But is there, what I see is people care about themselves, they care about their parents, they care about their brothers and sisters, they care about their children. And when a group comes in that is not fighting for them, is taking away from them, whatever color they are, that's where the animosity comes out. Another good example is Michael Jackson. He had light skin, but he was still black ethnically and whatever. Okay. What do you call Okay, we're not telling, I don't think we need jokes every single second. Anyway, another good example, Michael Jackson. What's the distinction between race and ethnicity? I'm ethnically English. So what race am I? Exactly. What race are English people? They're the Angles, the Saxons, the Jutes, the Danes, the Celts, and then the Nigerians who are moving in, and it all forms a blend. And that's why, but what they want to do is they wanted to break up nations because they don't believe in the nation state. They want people to give up their right to be who they are. I mean, because I'm trying to be careful with what I'm saying, because people can get fired for saying something inappropriate, as Mike Graham said. Skin color is obviously a weird thing, So let's say you live in a world where everybody has white skin, and then suddenly comes in and they are black. You go, wow. Let's say you live in an all-black country and someone comes in and they're white. You go, oh my God, they're all white. England, yeah. What makes an English person an English person? The fact is that the English people, they did not vote on whether to let in millions of people into this country. He's just upset. He's the comedian, and he's not doing, and it's not me doing the jokes. Yeah, that's probably true. I know. I'm upset because this is a very tendacious subject, Kermit. It's a dangerous one. You don't have to be employed. Don't you have to be employed to get fired? Well, yeah, basically. Was I employed? I was employed occasionally. But yeah, they could say we don't want you on YouTube because you're look what happened. People could call me a bad thing. And I don't even believe in that thing. I don't believe in that thing. Just as people have called me a misogynist. And it's like, what are you talking about? Lewis, do the goose step and get canceled. Well, People are calling me an Nazi. You know, they're calling me that, which is like it's like laughable to be called that. My daughter had a DNA test for medical reasons. Her makeup was mostly Northern European, some Celt, and a tiny bit of Semitic DNA. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Well, what are you saying about that, Vatanai? It's crazy how Fatty Mathewson gets on and he could say all those things. Yeah, because it's not that they believe that, it's that they're forced. They're forcing him on. Very few leftist people will go on GB News, and he maybe makes good TV because he's fat and ugly, you know. And they're saying they maybe behind the scenes they're saying this Lewis Schaffer is a dangerous character. He doesn't believe in germs. He doesn't believe in vaccines. He doesn't believe in COVID. He doesn't believe in climate change. He doesn't believe in racism. All the things that I say, they could say, we can't have you saying that, Lewis. People get too upset. You're not explaining it properly. Something like that. Did you hear about the Jewish comic? Here's another joke. The left are allowed not much more rope than the rest of us. The left are allowed. Yes, they're allowed much more rope because they're winning or whatever. They have won or they want to win and they don't want us to win. We've fallen behind. We've only just begun to fight. Whatever fight means. And I don't mean it in the way, like look. I mean, they're going to say, "Oh, Lewis is saying that you should fight." I'm saying, she is a mix, but predominantly Saxon Viking. Is that your wife? Tendentious. Did I say that properly, Lucy? I am sorry. Makes you wonder how Ricky Gervais gets away with it. Does he get away with it? I'm not sure he gets away with it because he's a vegan and I'm a carnivore because he is he loves animals why does Ricky Gervais does he get away with it? I mean, I don't know what he has said that's that because he's a very good comedian. That's why he gets away with it. He's a great comedian. I'm not a great comedian because he cannot be canceled. He's got too much money, says Joodles. Possible, or he's just a very good comedian. Oh, I brought a DNA test, my heritage, only 34 pounds, on sale for 6 hours. I'm not certain if I actually send it back. Yeah, who knows what they're going to do with all this stuff. I mean, I'm glad that I did it because I found out that I had all these genes for high blood pressure, and I found that I was 100% Ashkenazi Jew, which is what I thought I was going to be. I mean, it was kind of a waste. I'm a mixed race myself. My dad was a sprinter, and my mom was... These are jokes. Can we not tell the jokes? I mean, for one day, maybe we should tell the jokes. My wife was very Nordic looking, as is daughter, number one. Yeah. Well, it's like my son. My son number one looks like a young version of me, and son number two is beautiful, like his mother. His mother. Mark Almond's stomach has DNA from 50. Oh, is this a gay joke? Is that a gay joke? Let's not make. Maybe we shouldn't make gay jokes. But you can see. I now have to take control of this show. I have to be the one who is the most, and not you guys. We need to be loving. We need to be loving the people that they're letting into the country. Most of them are okay. Most of them are okay. But the truth is, you were not asked whether you wanted it to happen. And if you raised any questions about it, you were called an aurist or a whatever. It was bad things. Exactly the same reason why, says Jules, despite thousands of hate crime accusations against J.K. Rowling's Darklings, they never arrested her. Yeah, because she's got the money. And it would be an amazing embarrassment to this country if J.K. Rowling was arrested. But who is arrested? Some poor little woman who makes a meme, and she gets arrested. Or Graham Linehan, he gets arrested. I mean, if I get arrested, they'll say American comedian Lewis Schaffer. Suddenly, they'll know who I am. Suddenly, there will be people in America who will say, I remember that guy, whether it's Billy Burr, whoever it is, Lewis. A good comedian is a matter of opinion. Eddie Izzard is regarded as a great comedian, but personally, I've never found him funny. However, Lewis, I think you are a great comedian. Thank you, Russ. I do appreciate that. But in order to make a joke, and remember, I've been doing comedy for a very long time, and I had to learn what things I could say and couldn't say without getting people upset. Have you ever watched that? Yeah, there are things you can and cannot say. My mother's parents were travelers or gypsies from South Wales, Vatnai says. My dad's family were from Somerset back to 1600. What, you only have 6 hours to use this thing. Keith Bexley, is that the 34-pound one? I paid £60 for mine, so 34 pounds is a good deal. Eddie Izzard's drag act is pretty funny. Lucy Van Pelt. That could be considered offensive because he now wants to be called a woman. He doesn't want to be called a drag act. Lucy. Eddie Izzard's Star Wars joke was very funny. I mean, he was a really professional comedian, and he actually did it scientifically. I'm not scientifically funny. So, Lucy, what do you have to say to that? You can't call it that. Eddie Izzard just took the joke too far. Well, this is what artists do, They stay doing what they're doing their entire lives, hoping it's going to work. Like me, I'm doing this incompetent New York Jewish guy who can't get laid joke too far. I mean, and then it doesn't work because I say, wait a second, you've got 2 kids, you're married, you've had a girlfriend, you've got 2, you know what I mean? So it doesn't work. That's why all comedians have to change. They have to change. Eventually, they're found out to be liars, really. The funny thing about Eddie Izzard, says Joodles, is that he doesn't actually want to be called a woman. He's absolutely an autogynephile, but never mandated. We don't know that. The BBC did. I mean, you've got to be careful when you call someone that, I think. I mean, that could be considered to be libel, possibly. Especially when you say that. I mean, I don't know. I wish I had a lawyer that was right here telling me what I could and couldn't say in this country. You don't know. You come to this country and you think, well, I can say what I said in America. But you can't. You got to be careful with what we say. I'm not saying you're wrong, Joodles. I don't know. I mean, Kermit says, I'm impressed he managed to do his stand-up in French and made it work. But then his mental illness took over. I mean, are you calling it a mental illness? Or it could be we don't know if it's mental illness. It could be just a plan for him to become famous, basically. Even if Izzard is funny, I'm not going to laugh. He is a twat. I guess we're allowed to, see, like in America, you're allowed to say anything you want to because he's a celebrity. He's a celebrity. You can't sue people the way you can in this country. This country is like high defamation libel lawsuit. But didn't he go for a female only list for the Labor Party candidacy? Was he on that list? I think he was. And that is so evil, really. I'm against that myself, female only list. Anyway, I do know. You do know. Okay, you do know. Okay, well, you're prepared. I don't, am I supposed to do, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you, Joodles. Take it when it works for you, Kermit. But it was who the media ran with the whole Susie it was when the media ran with the whole calling her Susie. Exactly. Exactly. He's called Susan, says David B. Thank you, David. I mean, if you're going to be a celebrity, if you're going to be a comedian, you're going to have to, or try to be a comedian, you're going to have to expect people to say bad things about you. You can't get upset about things. Maybe I'm not intelligent enough to find Eddie Izzard's act funny. The thing is, I've never found Lee Evans funny either. And Lee Evans is meant to appeal to the brain dead working class. I could see that being a joke, Russ, that you remember the brain dead. Dressing up like he does is a load of baloney. A few years ago, I was more tolerant, says Vatnine. Now I'm not. I agree with you. Well, I actually asked him to his face, what's with the dress? I don't even remember exactly how I asked it, but it was a lot more pointed than that. I don't think he was happy to be asked that. I don't think anybody, this was over 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago. It sells tickets, Vatnine, wearing a dress. This is what it did. Like, you do things to sell tickets, and hopefully you keep on doing it until you sell those tickets. Like with me, my act, people thought that I was gay when I was in New York, so I used to make jokes about it. And then you just get bored with doing it, so you do something else. A few years ago, we were all more tolerant. There are reasons why we no longer are. That is true, because they basically stepped on our whatever, Kermit. I agree with you, and Judas agrees. We were more tolerant. We're not tolerant because they want us. They don't want us or you here in this country. Maybe they don't want me here. Maybe they don't want you here. And that's not nice of them. It's not nice of them, really. I remember there was a comedian and he used to wear a dress, another comedian. And Eddie Izzard came to see his show, to check out the competition, because Eddie Izzard was like wanted to see if he was like a threat to him. I possibly think, I'm not sure. We don't care because it didn't matter. Now it does. Exactly. When you got a few people, but now when 20% of the population is going, or more, is going around saying, or having their penises cut off, or whatever they're doing, or saying that they're gay, or being gay, it matters. It has a big effect. That's exactly right, Kermit. People care now. I agree with that completely. I was being serious, says Russ. Over the decades, here and there have been those family-type Butlin-style comedians who were aimed at the working class, and I just never found them funny. Okay, you don't. Maybe you're not working class. Maybe you want to be more than working class. Maybe you don't like the idea that they're making a joke for working class people. Working class is stupider than race. Maybe it's the same as race. What are your thoughts on Hollywood milking films as they are now making Toy Story 5? Well, that's always been done. And they're milking it. I don't know if they're milking it. It's remember, is that those, what do they call them? Those serial films? They're not called serial films. What do they call them when they do those 5 films? They only last as long as they make money. The last film that does not make money, they don't make another film unless they've got a political agenda. Del Boy Trotter, good to see you. Good to see you, Del Boy. Yes, so true, Keith Bexley. We have been tolerant. But these people who think a man can just say he's a woman also think we shouldn't have borders. They're all on the same team. I'm with you. Keith Bexley. That's what their team believes. They believe we're all the same. And they believe in lying. They believe, well, by saying we're all the same. We're not all the same. We need to care about ourselves first. If you're not for yourself, who is equals? Right. Thank you, Lucy. The last sequel is the one that doesn't make any money. And then they say, you know what, these things are not working, so you get no more money to make a film. It's the Greta effect, Keith, says Joodles. Yeah, it's that team. That team is like, we love Palestine. We love Muslims. We hate white people. It's all lies. It's all lies. It's all lies. The British were famously eccentric, and we were okay with the oddities of people. But then it became some weird reality taught in schools and policing our speech. Yes, Kermit, they've gone way too far. They've gone way too far. That's why in America that's why in this country they have to import people. But they're importing the wrong people because the people that they're importing don't believe those lies. They don't believe it. You could get a government grant for that, Vatnai. What is the government grant for? Perhaps I can get some concerts as a tranny. Mr. Wotan, the female bass. Some woke choral choir orchestra might go for it. I don't know if you're making a joke. Of course you can. Of course you can, because it's box ticking. It's box ticking. So you can get money for that. And that's what's so horrible. All those art centers in town, which are owned by the council. The council should not control the arts. The BBC should not control the news. I won't indulge these people in their delusions. Once upon a time you could, and it was fun. You want to call somebody a girl, you call a guy a girl. But you got to be careful because and they're big. They're still big. They're 6 feet, whatever. They're still big. Except the ones who've had their growth destroyed with drugs. Keith Bexley says it's mad. It's mad. Yeah, you could get money, Vatnai. Don't worry about it. I think one in, one out deal should be for celebrities. We should send Sadiq Khan to America in exchange for J.D. Vance. Yeah, I mean, is he a celebrity? He's a celebrity now. I remember seeing him walking in the street when he just got elected. I thought, this is a small, ugly little man. I mean, how could a politician be that short? And not that short is wrong. I'd write the tender for you if you give me 20%. Vatnai. Okay. Something that was milked was your show, Dell. Was your show, Dell. It was amazing from 1981 to 1988. But as soon as they introduced the women into it and the baddie kid, I think it became like a soap. What song? What show are you talking about? I don't know what show you're talking about. Personally, says Russ, I've never found women in comedy funny. Marlene was great, but she was not in every episode. Come to think of it, why can't a bass baritone sing Madam Butterfly? Isn't that discriminatory? Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. They believe in equity, which is not the same as equality. People, it's like, what's his name said? He said, it's like what they're doing with all of these TV shows. They're putting men and women in female roles and trans and stuff like that. No, you may not ask that question unless you tell me why you're interested in what my favorite European food is. And I grew up in America, and we had European food because we had a lot of Europeans living there. French food, every kind of food. Lewis has never seen it. I've never seen it. Beef, eggs, cheese, and butter. That's pretty much what I eat. That's exactly what I eat. Though today I had an orange, and today I had 2 samosas. I shouldn't have had 2 samosas, but I had 2 samosas. I don't know what you're talking about. What show you're talking about. This is the premise. I've lost my voice during COVID. I faced discrimination as a half gypsy, and now I want a transition. Yeah. Well, This is the thing, yeah. And people are taking advantage. The fact that they think that some people are doing badly because of the color of their skin or because of their sex, whatever, I think is wrong. Is wrong. Like in America, you know, Chinese people, Asians as we would call them, they're not like Asians like here. They're Asians. They're Chinese people, Filipinos, and Japanese. They're doing great. They're doing great, and they're lumped with the white people can because they're doing great. Sky has an ethnic Japanese, I think, actor playing Mozart in the new Amadeus series. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, Lucy. It's crazy. Let's say a prayer. Let's say a prayer for this country. What have we decided here? What have we let's figure out how we can make this thing. Was I nice? I want to make sure that I'm not canceled. Pedos have got off jail time because COVID forced them to transition and made them download the kitty R images. Your scenario is a piece of pee. How much do you want? I'll get on it. Yeah, oh, this is Joodles, see, and Joodles knows her stuff about this. Yeah, yeah, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. What's happened? What's happened? And look, they're letting people do this kind of stuff publicly. People are doing badly because of the color of their skin and sexuality, white, straight, pale, and male. Yes, that's true. They've been marginalized for being white. Look at that song. It's a great song. It's called Don't Call Me White. It's not such a great song, but it meant a lot to me when I heard it. It's a 30-year-old song. It took a long time before I heard it. I'll put the link here. I'll put the link here. If the thing goes fuzzy, please tell me it's gone fuzzy. Let's see what this is. I'm going to put the link if I can. Here it is. That's the full album. That's the song. It's 1990s. Hold on a second. It's 1990s. What would be called punk rock. 1990s punk rock. Whoops. What did I just do? I think this is going to work. I hope this is going to work. I'm putting it in the thread, everybody. Thank you, Keith. I'm not thank you. I mean, it's not my music, but it was from the 1990s. There was some like punk bands at that same era. You could call Nirvana a punk band or Green Day or whatever. These were punk music from that era. And it wasn't punk music. I wasn't punk music from this era. I think it's wrong how people get called racist for noticing that 60% that people are, despite, 6%. Yes, I'm not reading that aloud, but that's true. It's true. Let advertise. Well, why is that? They won't, it's marginal. They're adverts that features white British people, the ones encouraging us not to play loud music on buses or not sexually harass. Yes, they want us to feel bad. I went to Madame Butterfly, Vatmai says, where the American sailor was BLACK. That's okay. But when his baby was brought out, the text says, have you ever seen... I can't read that. I can't read this stuff. But yeah, this is the point. The point is they're at war with us. And that Keir Starmer is at war with. And he's like, he's telling his own people, don't fight with me. I'm leading the battle. I think that's what's happening. So yeah, you're right. Some people just have okay, whatever it is. Lucy's laughing at Vatnai. Okay, it's nice to see. It's nice to see Lucy laughing. I like when Lucy laughs. There's a lot of this thing. Have you lost? No. It's not that I've lost the ability to read. I cannot. I don't want to read it. Someone could say that you are being honest, and I don't think you are. I've got to be careful. Even though I know what you're thinking. This is not GB News. Hold on a second. I know you're thinking this is not the TV and Ofcom isn't watching, but you don't know it. You don't know what could happen. I could get a knock on the door, and it could be the police. But if the police come and arrest me, if the police come and arrest you guys, we all have to scream and shout and let everybody know what is happening. I mean, not that it matters, but there you go. Yes, or that campaign that with Romesh Raghunathan. Yeah, telling men not to be misogynistic. And it was full of white people. Mate, yes, it was wrong. You can't be RS for describing someone, though. Even though they are watching, comma, no one is going to arrest you. We don't know that to be true, no. We don't know that. It's like those two horrible women who came and knocked on that woman's door. And they're just sitting there, just giving the woman a hard time. Oh, yes, that made me cringe. So pathetic. Just like that knife crime advert. Well, back in the day, I remember when they made movies like Warriors or something. They were like, they couldn't show New York City the way it really was. So America has like a violent, high crime rate. But if they got rid of, I'm afraid to even say it. Okay, I'm a coward. Romesh is actually called Jonathan, isn't he? Wonder why he chose Romesh. Is that true? Was he called Jonathan? Was the same thing with the with AOC? She was called something when she was younger, and then she changed her name. I mean, I'm called Lewis James Schaffer because my parents wanted to have a Christian-y name. That's why I'm called Lewis James. There's not a Jewish name. And that's why I'm called this name. It was about 30 years ago, the Welsh National Opera performing in Oxford. There was laughter in the theater. Well, that people could have been arrested for having laughter. Ofcom regulates what we can and can't see on the internet in the UK. This can even extend to tweets, but I don't think they can find any way but ban sites and block videos. Yeah, who knows? Is that what he's called? Is he called Jonathan Romesh? I'm going to have to check that out. I find that hard to believe, but I'm going to go check it anyway. Kermit, even though Kermit tends to be a very reliable source. Very, very reliable source. Okay, let's see what it says. Jonathan Romesh Raghunathan. Is it his style of comedy? Yes, there you go. Wikipedia says the name Jonathan. There you go. He was born in Crawley. His dad's name, his children are Alex, Theo, and Charlie. Well, that's good. That's good. Those are English names. Those are really good. They're really good. Um, is he still a vegan? Let me see what's going on here. Um, okay. Let's see what it says. Personal life. He went vegan. Supports Arsenal, which isn't the local team. It should be supporting Crystal Palace. He's got Richard Pryor and the flag of Albania on his tattooed. Why? He's got those tattoos. He's all right. I mean, I like him as a per. I don't know. You know, I like him. He's also has like a deformity. He's got some sort of eye problem, basically. He's got an eye problem. I like the guy, but you don't know. I don't want to say bad things about people. I'm basically very conservative. Let me rephrase that. I'm scared to death. I'm scared to death, as we all are. I don't like that feeling of being scared to death. I don't get the idea that somebody's going to come knock on my door, right? Someone's going to knock on my door. Come and knock on my door. Da, 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 da. You probably don't know that's an American show. Yeah, he believed in it. He believed in it. I didn't believe in lockdown, and I did not believe in COVID, and now I don't believe in anything. In anything. Anything. Kermit says. Yeah, yeah. So maybe because I didn't know that he was because I wasn't watching the BBC back then, because I just saw it as a lie. So he didn't bother me. Oh, he's quoting what happened here? Who is he quoting? Who is he quoting? A British comedian acting style of comedy is deadpan and often self-deprecating. Is that what they say about me? Am I deadpan? I'm so deadpan people don't even recognize it's a joke. Um, Australia blocks videos so that their citizens can't see them. It's censorship. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this COVID, lots of people stopped being my friend. I've been blacklisted a few times. Like I think where people didn't like that I was eating meat, that they because I was having, this girl was upset because she was whatever about me. So people said, oh, he did a bad thing, which I did not do. And I hope I didn't do anyway. So why choose to use his Sri Lankan name, I wonder? Because it makes him more memorable. But I mean, Raghunathan is like quite a memorable name, because the country has turned towards ethnicity. It wants to be like America. It wants to be like people want to believe that he didn't grow up in Crawley, maybe that he grew up in Sri Lanka. Earlier today, the EU announced that they announced further regulation of the digital world. Macron gave a speech and said, listen to traditional news outlets, not the internet. Because it's the traditional news outlets are bought by Bill Gates and the team world. I can't believe he's still there. He's still has some control of something. The thing I hate about censorship the most is comment removed, Russ. Okay, that's a joke. Okay. China has been doing that for years. Now everyone is copying them. Very good, Russ. Very good. Okay. Very, very good. I suppose if you heard him on the radio and he was called Jonathan, one might assume, well, because he sounds old school English, like he was educated properly. Remember the joke of Simon Evans, where Simon goes, you could probably tell, you know, where my accent, because I'm educated. It was such a funny joke, but that was back then. Now is now. That was now. So that's what Kermit says. But what did you say? Joodles was saying he making a joke about me. Um, I mean, I should. I mean, I am. I am I a coward? I'm a bit of. I know what I'm saying. People say to me, Lewis, you are a this, and I go, I don't care if you think that, but I'm not that. I'm not that. That's why I'm not that. It's like it's like whenever they accuse me of being a bad person, okay? It doesn't bother me. At least in at least in the ideas that I have. It does not bother me. But a lot of people don't understand it. They don't understand it. Breaking news, Bill Gates has agreed to pay for Trump's wall on the condition he gets to install Windows. Old joke. Okay, good thing there. I was quoting what is written about Romesh, like I had a copy and pasted it, but you checked into my anyway, is what she was saying. Well, I mean, is it bad that I checked? It doesn't mean I disrespect you, but I don't believe anything. And people on our stream are constantly making jokes. I do believe you. I do believe you. I like Donald Trump. I don't have any jokes about Donald Trump. You're just getting old, Lewis, like we all are. Yeah, I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Who will want me? Who will want an old Lewis Schaffer? Look what's happened. Look what's happened to what's his name? To Graham Linehan. They did a great job by arresting him. They did a great job, but they're still arresting how many people a day? Thousands of people a year they're arresting. They're arresting. You are stunning and brave, Lewis. Yes, that's that phrase. That phrase about women, you are stunning and brave. Trump says America doesn't have enough talent and needs H-1B visas. MAGA is dead. How does it not have enough talent? Fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. So you know what's happening. They're bringing people in through Canada, and then it's kind of like grandfathering them against the border. We don't know what pressure Donald Trump is under. All right, let's go over what have we discussed today. What did we discuss today? We discussed Mike Graham. We discussed that. What else have we discussed? What else have we discussed? Can we go over what we've discussed? Linehan orchestrated that arrest, Lewis, and made him almost $500,000. I don't believe that, but possibly it is possible. I don't know if that's true, says Lewis. Let me look that up. Yes. Yeah, we'll have to look it up in a few places to match what other people, what other people. Why is that wrong? Let me look it up. I'm looking it up. It's quite terrifying. Starmer wants to bring in the ID card. Even more censorship. Of course it's true. Of course it's true. And the amount of lying that guy does is unbelievable. Saying he supports this country when he's destroying it. Believe it or not, it's still true. What is true? It's quite terrifying. That's what Darklands says. Yes, I agree with you, Darklands. Even more censorship. Why do you say that? Believe it or not, it's still true. I don't know if that's true, says Lewis. Let me look it up. Well, it's one. If I say something to you, I hope you look it up. And you go, oh my God, I can't believe I looked it up. If I say something, you should take vitamin D3, you look it up. If I say global warming, whatever, you should look it up because he had bail restrictions, Lucy, and every paper in the country managed to cover it within minutes. Oh, okay. All right. So maybe he knew. Okay, so he knew. Did he do it? Yeah, well, sometimes sometimes, Joodles, you want to bring things to a head. You don't want to sit there and hide it and let them think that they've got the upper hand. You want to say, okay, you want to arrest me, come and arrest me. And I think that's what he's doing. You know, he knew he would get arrested on the return because he should never left. The papers were briefed. Who briefed the papers? You're saying he briefed the papers? Joodle says. Okay. I don't know. What is the point you were making? The point is he wanted to get arrested to make money? Is this what he did? He wanted to get arrested to embarrass them? Well, that's what he did. He embarrassed them. He embarrassed them. So good on him. Sometimes, Lewis, I want to play poor me to suck another £500,000 out of gullible women. Yeah, maybe, but he's because he hasn't been making any money, and he's done a good thing, and he's been brave. I haven't been brave. I've been a little brave, but not super brave. I wouldn't call it, but even when I'm doing brave. He's not sucking the money out. Maybe he is, but it's drawing attention to the situation. So Lucy's saying, you think he's just a grifter, Joodles. I don't think, I've met the guy. I've spoken to the guy for hours. I've been on shows with him. Hours. Maybe not hours. Hours, yeah, sat with him and had drinks with him and stuff like that. I don't see him as a grifter. I see him as a hard-working guy. Is he a grifter? He's a hard-working guy. I wish I was like him. You know, I mean, this is the most work I've done I've used to do more hard work than this. I don't know. Fair play to him after all, the government does it on a daily basis. And he embarrassed the government. And we should all embarrass the government. We should videotape. We should post things on everything we should do. We should let them know we're watching them. Yes, Lucy. And I say this as someone who subscribed to his Substack and brought his book. He's a grifter extraordinaire. He's duped you too. Then, Lewis, women's rights was the ultimate bandwagon. So you're saying he doesn't care about women's rights? Well, why is he doing what he's doing? Maybe he doesn't care about it, but he wants to. It's like me. I want to bite the hand that feeds me. I want to make them wish they never heard of me. Some of my friends sit around every evening and they worry about the times ahead. But everyone else is overwhelmed by indifference and the promise of an early bed. They stopped him from working, okay? And when you stop someone with a brain as big as his, as talented as he is, when you do that, you too could make £500,000 if you did the same. But I can't do the same because I don't have the balls that he has. Like his work, but I wish his face was more symmetrical. Yeah, you know what, whatever. Not my face, I'm beautiful. What rights don't women get? We're not talking about that. They have more rights. Okay, equal rights for the English working class now. Yes, could be. You could say that. He is visibly Irish. He has the same shaped head as Garon. Who is Garon? I don't know who he is. Who is delicious, says Kermit. Okay, let's get ready to go. I think we've made our point. If we want to discuss this, we can discuss it tomorrow. You can always bring it up again. We can talk about it every single day. I think this stream is amazing. Is absolutely amazing. I think that's not the point, Trucker. The point is that men in dresses are taking our rights from us by taking our spaces and wanking in them. That's important to you. It's important to me, but it's also, I'm against it because it's a lie. I'm against lies. I'm against that they didn't ask women their opinion. I'm against that women are coming into men's spaces. They're coming into men's locker rooms. I'm against that. I'm against that. Can I say that? I don't know. Maybe I can't. All right. So let's just say goodbye to everybody. Let's say goodbye to everybody. Gnome and Trucker and Lucy and Alex and Joodles and Kermit and Trucker. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And What and I totally appreciate it. David B., Keith Bexley, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew, for being here. Thank you. I was a bit insensitive to the jokes that were coming in because I'm a bit nervous discussing this. And, Del Boy Trotter, really appreciate you being here. We've had a lot of people on this stream tonight for these live shows. I'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Everybody, before you leave, you have to do one thing to keep this thing going. You've got to go and press the thumbs up. Every single show, you have to press the thumbs up. You have to press the subscribe show regularly, but not every single show, regularly. You've got to go to Discord and talk about this. Discord, if you want to. You can go to Twitter, Lewis Schaffer, at Lewis Schaffer on Twitter, and talk to me there. You can maybe make a contribution at Ko-fi or PayPal or Patreon. Okay? There are only a few things to do. The most important thing, thumbs up, people. Please, thumbs up. Okay? Alex, thank you for being here. Gnome Hunter or Blackadder, thank you for that. Mark Therosian, thank you for being here. Just brilliant. Andrew Rubin again. I think I've thanked everybody. If I haven't, English Addict, I missed you. If I haven't thanked you, then just say, hey, what about me? What am I, chopped liver? Let's thank everybody. Race is not as real as you think it is. There are differences, but they're marginal differences. But they are indicative that someone is not from your family group initially. They're not that way. They're not that way. Darklands, thank you, Darklands. Thank you very, very much. Keith, thank you. All right, so there we go. Let's go to the end. I'm going to say donate. You can donate. Go join on Discord. A prayer. Let's have a prayer. I'm going to say a prayer in the 1 minute left. Dear Lord, dear our almighty Lord. We all have a different Lord, but it's all the same Lord. And it's to you we pray. We haven't prayed in the past, and we begging you for forgiveness for our not paying as much attention to you as we should have paid. Things were going very good in this country, and we didn't think we needed you as much. And we regret that we have not called, that we haven't paid homage to you, that prayed to you, respected you as much. And we beg and plead for your forgiveness, dear Lord. But we're worried right now. And we need you right now. We need you to help us see through, first of all, to see through the lies that our enemies are forcing down our throats. Okay? So we're sorry for that. So we thank you. We're praying that you help us see the lies. Secondly, to help us fight those lies, to not accept those lies. And third, to help us fight for this country. And when we say fight, we don't mean physically, possibly, I don't know. To help us do what's necessary to save our country. To be sober. We want prayer, as Vat and I say, to be sober, to be vigilant, because our adversaries is the devil. And we believe, as a roaring lion to walketh about, to protect our families, our children, our sisters and brothers, our land, the land of Britain, the land of England, of Wales, of Scotland, of the Jutes and the Vikings, of the Normans, of the Celts, of the Irish, of the Scots, of the Picts, our land, to protect it, to bring it back to what it once was. We pray to you, glorious God. Is there anything that someone, amen, is there anything that someone would like me to add to that? I said amen, but I'll add it in. Alex, I don't see the thumbnail. 1 Peter 5.8. Okay. Can you, let me see what 1 Peter 5.8. Be sober. Okay, that's what that means. To be alert and self-disciplined. Yes. Be sober-minded and alert. Be sober-minded and alert. Okay. Alex, what did you mean? Excellent prayer. Well, I'm trying to remember the thing. Can you pray for my Euro Millions numbers to come up on Saturday? No. No. If you love me and say you're going to love me forever, and if you win, that you're going to throw Lewis a bone, I would pray for you. Maybe I should pray anyway. Dear Lord, God give Lucy Van Pelt the Euro Million numbers. Judith laughs. Okay, that's been our show. I want to thank you all for watching, listening, for being here, for being very good participants in this. Very good. I'm going to announce. I'm going to end this. I'm going to announce when the next stream is. You can still write on the bottom, and then in 2 minutes I'm going to end the stream completely. Okay?